I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, the first 12 years of my life. And actually, God did play a little bit of a role. My mother tried to get us to go to church, but the overriding problem there was my mother was an alcoholic. And she didn't have the strength to override my father to really push Christianity in our family. And then we moved from Atlanta to Houston, Texas for a couple of years, and then on to Virginia Beach, Virginia. And during that time, we moved further and further away from any hope of going to church. I'm in ninth grade, and I would often go out with my friends who probably came from similar dysfunctional families, and we would party. We would go out. We'd find a wino that would buy us beer for $1, and we decided one night, this is Easter Eve, which was like any other weekend to us because we didn't go to church. We decided to party in the sand dunes. So we picked 38th Street, and you need to understand there's 80 blocks along Virginia Beach Avenue, and we picked 38th Street. We went there, we partied, we had a good time. I probably made it home about 1 o'clock. Somehow, my mother made it up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She came in and somehow she woke me up, and these are miracles in themselves that could happen. And she convinced me to drive her to Virginia Beach to the sunrise service. We're driving along Atlantic Avenue, and she says, "Turn here." So I turned, I look up at the sign, and it's 38th Street. It's the exact same place I'd just been the night before partying with my friends. But we went to the service, we went over the sand dunes, we walked right by the beer cans that my buddies and I had left there the night before. Of course, I didn't say anything about it. We got down on the beach, and there is a big wooden cross that was erected in the sand. From that point on, over the years, I thought about that service, and I thought how odd it was. We went to the same place in huge Virginia Beach. We happened to go to the same place that I had just been at the night before. Fast forward almost 32 years, and I had gone through a successful career as a geologist. I was determined that I could do things on my own. I had been through 2 unsuccessful marriages, 2 failed marriages, and I was living alone, and I realized that I had to make some sort of a change. I had to make a change in my life. So I began going to church just right down here a couple of blocks away at First Presbyterian Church. This Easter morning, 1998, 32 years after that first visit, that first trip that my mother had taken me down to Virginia Beach to the sunrise service, I wake up and I have tears streaming down the sides of my face. And I had had much more than a dream. I had had what I can only describe as a visit from the Holy Spirit. And whether it lasted a second or a minute, I can't tell you, but it was stark, and it was startling, and it was as if a force had grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me and said, "Look, you were delivered by your mother 32 years ago at that sunrise service to me for care." And that was about the extent of the experience, but it was so real and so powerful that it just shook me. Things happen in God's time and not our time. And it took 32 years for me to come around to actually find the Lord. And that's God's time, not my time.